Hi, superheroes. I want to talk about how you can use a flow map to help you plan for your writing when you're sequencing a process. Sequencing means giving step by step directions to do something for the reader. So, if your assignment is to read about mummies in Egypt and then write about how a mummy in ancient Egypt was prepared, that's going to be a step by step process. First, this happened, then this happened. When you have a task like that, use a flow map to help you plan. Now, if I made a flow map right now for how to prepare a mummy in ancient Egypt, I would be doing all of the work for you. So instead, I'm going to demonstrate making a flow map using a more simple concept, like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And when I think of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the first thing I think about is you need bread. So I write that down. Sorry if my handwriting is not good enough for you, yet now you know how I feel when I read your writing as a teacher. But I need bread. But I can go into more detail with that. The great thing about a flow map is that I can add details to it. Like, well, where do you find the bread? The bread gods do not bring you bread down from the heavens. You have to go to the place in the kitchen where the bread is kept. In my house, the bread is kept in our refrigerator. I think a lot of people don't put it in the fridge, but I think my wife read an article that it keeps it fresher for longer. Whatever. If you don't keep your bread in the fridge, then you don't put fridge down. You put down where you keep your bread. Also, I can be more specific than that. Usually, we keep it on the top shelf. Now, I have written down an idea for bread and I have written down details. It's kept in the fridge and it's usually on the top shelf. That's true for me, might be different for you. The big thing to keep in mind here is that I've got three ideas here: bread and fridge and top shelf. That's three sentences right there when you actually put this down in writing. Now, when I think of the next thing I need to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, obviously it's going to be peanut butter. But you know what? I don't got time for all that. I'm just going to make an abbreviation. That's okay when you're doing a thinking map because these are your ideas. As long as you know what PB means, you are allowed to write down PB instead of peanut butter because this is all about your ideas. You'll spell peanut butter out when you actually type this out or you write it out for your final draft of your assignment. Now, again, I can add details to this. Like, where do we keep our peanut butter? We keep it in the cupboard. What if you don't know exactly how to spell cupboard? Oh, I don't know. I'll give you a hint. I actually spelled that incorrectly, but guess what? It's okay because I'm not going to grade you on your thinking map, but neither is your teacher. This is all about the ideas. You can have time to correct that misspelled word when you type it out. We keep our peanut butter in the cupboard, and we happen to prefer Skippy peanut butter. Are you different? Then you write that down as a detail in your flow map. Then I need the jelly. Again, I'm not writing a lot in here. I'm not writing a whole sentence. I'm just writing the word jelly. It's just about the idea. This will help me type out or write out my finished assignment. This is all just about ideas, so I don't need to use complete sentences. Jelly. If you ask Mr. Harrell, I say grape jelly is the only jelly that is worth putting on a PB and J. If you feel differently, you can argue with me about it when we cross paths. But for my thinking map, I'm going to use grape jelly, and I'm going to advise you that my wife and I also keep it in the fridge like the bread, and we keep it in the door. You know how the door has shelves that you can put things in? That's where we keep it. Okay, so I've got bread, I've got peanut butter, I've got jelly. The only thing I need to do now is eat that sandwich. So I'm going to get a plate. I'm going to get a napkin. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to make sure I eat at the table. Now, I'm not writing a complete sentence here. I'm not writing eat at the table. As you can see, all I did was write the word table down so that in my head I know what I'm talking about. It will become a complete sentence when I actually type this out. Now, you might be asking yourself, Mr. Harrell, what is the point of all this? Why do I make a flow map when I could just start writing in the first place? Here's why, because this will make sure that you are including all the details and that you're ready to make a really, really good flow map. I want to show you something right now. Each one of these ideas can be one sentence on your finished writing. In other words, bread becomes the first thing you're going to need when you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is bread. You turn these ideas into complete sentences. In my house, you find bread in the fridge because my wife read that it stays fresher if you keep it in the refrigerator. When you open up the refrigerator, you'll find the bread on the top shelf. Right there, I have 3 complete sentences, and then I move on to peanut butter. Now to find the peanut butter in my house, you would get into the cupboard. Time out. Am I worried about whether cupboard is spelled right? No, not really. Not right now. When you type it out, maybe autocorrect will help you, or maybe you'll see the cupboard doesn't look right when you write it out, and you can look up the correct spelling. On my flow map, it was all just about ideas. I have another complete sentence right under cupboard. Now, I prefer Skippy peanut butter. Do you like Peter Pan better? And I've written a complete sentence for that. Already, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences. And down here, I'm going to have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sentences written out. And really, if you think about it, when we think about paragraphs, there's 1 paragraph. There's 2 paragraphs about peanut butter. A third a third paragraph about jelly, and a 4th paragraph about eating that sandwich that you spent all that time making. By planning this assignment out, I'm ready to write a 4-paragraph essay just about making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Imagine what you can do if you're writing about how the ancient Egyptians prepared mummies. So when you prepare this writing, I want you to try to use a flow map. I want you to put details on your flow map, and I want you to make sure that every detail you are putting down becomes its very own sentence so that your writing can have all the details it's supposed to need. I can't wait to see your writing, and I can't wait to give you feedback and just to celebrate what a great writer you guys are becoming. Have an awesome day.